This is Tom Huser with the Huser team, and I just wanted to offer a close to the year, end of the year market update. So right now we're currently in November of 2019, so we've got all the data all the way through October of 2019. So let's kind of jump into the data. I want to try to keep this under 5 minutes if I can, but there's some great information. Definitely a strong shift in the market for the positive if you're a seller, and will definitely be a little more difficult on the buyer side at the lower price points. So here's what we have just to kind of show you. So October here, you have 2018 and 2019. So this is a month over month comparison between the 2 years. And then when you look at the year to date on the right hand side, this is the first 10 months of the year, all the data combined. So, we can change a little bit month to month. So let's look at the year to date first. So new listings over 10 months, we've got about 8%, almost 8% of more listings that have came onto the market. With all that, we actually have 3.3% more pending sales. And as of right now, we're down about 2.6% in total sales for the year. We've seen a huge change in all of this right now. We were down about 8% in closings about three months back, and there has just been a huge shift in the amount of buyer volume picking up in Las Vegas. So no matter how many more listings are coming on the market, it's being absorbed with all the buyers coming into the market. With that said, as of this moment, days on market that it's taking a house to sell has went up about 45% year to date. We're going to see this start trending back down again. Homes have just started selling a lot quicker. And the median price for a house year over year is up about almost 5%, and the average price up about 5%, about the same. And check this out. Through 2019, sellers are getting a whopping 98.4% of list price. So, there's still not any bargains to be out there in Las Vegas because things are selling too quickly. So here's what's going on. Month supply of homes. I think this is actually good to look out for October to show you what is happening in the market. Pending sales. Look at this up. It's up 30% month over month. Last October versus this October. It is on fire. And we'll get into this why. I'll just tell you it's interest rates, and I'll kind of show you what's going on there. And just this mass exodus out of California of buyers moving here. But this month's supply of inventory, extremely important here. We have now, are in 2018, in October, we had 3.3 months. So we have came down year over year by 12% in inventory. Much earlier in the year, the news was touting about how inventory was increasing, it was doubling and all this stuff. Well, we're actually back down again, and we'll get into some of that in just a minute. So what does this mean? This means if you're a seller, so anything around the 6 months of inventory means it's a flat market. It's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. So right now, with having less than 3 months of inventory, we're definitely trending toward a seller's market, but that is not the case in all price points. So let me define that real quick. So this is a big picture of about 3 years of inventory, just to kind of show big picture. The bottom graph here is $1 million and higher homes. And when you look up here at this graph, this is all price points. It's not just up to $1 million, but at zero. If something sold between $0 and $30 million, all residential real estate, single family homes, it is in this graph right here. So this is big picture of the greater Clark County market. So let's start with the $1 million homes first. This is a little bit different story than what I was talking about. Again, I always want to reference back to that 6 months of inventory. Is that balance? Anything over 6 months means it's a buyer's market. Prices tend to head down, not like dropping, but will trend down. And if it's less than 6 months, prices will trend up. So as of right now, you can see the inventory has dropped in both of these graphs over the last couple months, 3 months, 4 months. The inventory just keeps coming down and coming down. Well, of all price of homes in Clark County, this dot here is at that 2.9%. So you can see we were just crazy low back here in beginning of 2018, end of 2017. And then we could never stay that low, and we just started building up inventory, building up, and then here we come right back down again now. So now, a little bit different story on the $1 million homes and higher. Right now, it's about 12 months, or about 11 months of inventory. So there is definitely some additional homes on the market and that price point. So we should see prices trend down a little bit until this inventory gets a little bit more balanced. But in the meantime, all the other homes are going to continue to go up in value pretty consistently right now. Okay, so what's going on? Mortgage rates. You can see where mortgage rates have just really came down. We did move back up a little bit here, but it was really weird because a year ago, all the experts, this was from Freddie Mac here, they were just predicting that interest rates would be up around 5%. But now that we know we're moving into the presidential election, so it's going to be pretty consistent that they're going to try to hold rates down to keep the economy going. So this is the consensus. This comes from Freddie Mac of where they see rates going. So we should be pretty optimistic from this point. If rates stay this low, that the market should stay moving along pretty good. All right, so now, some people have said, it's just not affordable. Housing prices have moved up too much. So here's a great overview, the Housing Affordability Index. Now, remember, housing affordability is not just based on house prices. It's house prices. It's also based on mortgage interest rates because 70% of homeowners out there have a mortgage payment, and that's more important to them as how much it is monthly. And then the other thing is there's inflation over time with wages, how much people are making out there. So let me see if I can show this source. So this is from the National Association of Realtors, or you see down here in the corner, I always like to show. So as far as affordability, I mean, the higher this line is, the more affordable that it is. So these red years, obviously, were when the distressed properties were very heavy here in Las Vegas, but definitely in many parts of the nation. So when housing prices plummeted, 60% here in Las Vegas, obviously everything was much more affordable. And at the same time, the economy was faltering, so we had very low interest rates. That was the best time ever to get the house. Now, if you look at over here, yeah, it's a little bit less affordable, but in comparison to the 90s and the early 2000s, it's still much more affordable today, even though home prices are more expensive. And why is that? Because interest rates are much lower. You'll hear many people tout interest rates of, they've had rates of 12 and 14%. And it's just, and of course, wage increases have also happened over the years. So housing affordability is still there. And then we've heard other people tout, well, all these lenders are bringing back in these crazy mortgage programs that are going to put buyers at risk to default on home loans again. They're just giving away money. So this is a good graph here from MBA's, the Mortgage Bankers Association. So this shows, obviously the troubled years were 2000, really 7, 8, 9, 10, and that was because all the bad mortgages that were written back in 2004, 5, 6. So what this is showing here is this is underwriting standards, and pretty much this is how easy it was to get a mortgage. The higher this line is, it was easier underwriting standards to get a mortgage. So, people are saying, well, it's easier to get a mortgage now. Here we go back. So the reality of it is yes, it has gotten a little bit easier to get a mortgage. You can see as this line has trended up. But if you look back to the time frame where we had all the troubled loans, this is how easy it was to get a mortgage. So it was between, 200 to 400% easier to get a mortgage. That's when there was 100% financing. There was pay option mortgages. They had stated income loans, no documents. We're nowhere near that mortgage availability again. So you don't be worried. And again, 30%, 33% of buyers right now are paying cash for their house, and more than 50% of homeowners have over 40% equity in their home across the country. So we're in just a much better market. Okay, so how do you use this information? So one of the things that you definitely want to do is know if you are a seller, um, the most inventory always comes on the market every year in April, May, and June. So if you're saying, well, let's just wait until April, May, or June, that's when you're going to have the most competition with all your neighbors putting their house on the market at the same time. So consider getting a jump start here, January, February, March, why we're still in a strong market no matter what. We've got low inventory. If you're a seller, now is a darn great time to get your house on the market. And yes, we do sell homes through the holidays. That will not hinder us because there's buyers out there needing to buy homes as they're moving to Las Vegas. All right, so here's some expert predictions here for prices from CoreLogic. So you can see Nevada as a whole. This does not break it down to just Las Vegas, but I don't know if you need a seller buying another state. You can kind of see some ballpark numbers here. But Nevada is ballpark around 8% that they're expecting to go up, and around 5.8% on average in the United States. So experts are actually starting to lift all these numbers for appreciation because they're now having to re-account for the lower interest rates environment that we plan to be in for the next 12 months. So I hope that this information has been helpful to you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Tom Huser at the Huser team. I'm with Realty One Group, and would love to hear any feedback that you have and some information to go along with it. Have a great day.